What up? It's your boy Baja Daggers, host of the 963 DagrRoom Mix Show and Podcast. Just a little warning, this show may contain some strong language. Bad words! But if you're too young for this, go ask your parents' permission. You know the commandments, honor thy father and thy mother. So let's get into the show.
All right, let's get to this
Oh yeah,
snowfall
the
thing.
review. Now we can do the review after we talk. Yeah, it's gonna be like a three-parter.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't even worried about it. We know how we gonna do it.
It's good. It's
But
just more content. You know what I'm saying? You just got
yeah,
to edit it.
God,
More
that's hey,
content.
that gives me 3 weeks worth of videos right there.
Right.
God, but
Exactly.
man. So you watch it from the beginning to the end, huh? So
Con.
let me make this disclaimer before we start. If you watch Snowfall, because this is about where I'm gonna start this episode. If you watch Snowfall, this is your one and only chance. Spoiler alerts. If you haven't finished it, spoiler alerts. Whatever season you're on, you might want to stop because these are spoiler alerts.
Con.
You've been warned.
Yeah. Spoiler alert. And I will echo that. Spoiler alert. And this is coming from somebody that watched it in 14 days, a little bit less than 14 days. I started at Snowfall because you said you wanted to do a review.
Good.
And I was like, all right, cool, let me catch up. And literally like 12 days later, I watched the final episode a day after the series ended. And I said it before, but it wasn't recorded, so I'll say it now. It's easy to watch. It's easy to get through. Before we get into the spoilers and everything, this series itself is very easy to get through because each season is only 10 episodes. Each episode is an hour long. So the pacing is just perfect. And the way they draw you in, especially from early on, with season one, when Franklin was doing his thing and he went to Auntie Louie and he went out and he did his first deal, and then he came back like the next day and he ended up put out of business and they jumped him. Like
Yeah.
that really just draws you like in because it's like, oh shit.
They took his bike. Oh no, I think they left his bike, right?
Yeah, they left the bike. They took the money. They took the drugs or something like that. So he ain't have nothing. And that was like literally episode like 2 or 3.
Yeah, that was I think it was episode 2 when because he sold the lady at the club the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
That was
Yeah,
the end of episode 1. He came back and then he got it was episode 3 when he went back to the club. Like, just tell me who they are. He's like, what'd you think was gonna happen?
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, exactly. So it really draws you in real fast because if anybody has any experience in the game, and of course, any experience from watching the cartel, how they operate and stuff like that, when you owe somebody money, you about to be dead. Like so for a character to be in his position early on, he's supposed to be, of course the show was loosely off of Freeway Ricky Ross, the real Ricky Ross, not the rapper Ricky Ross, the real Rick Ross. Is loosely on him to be in that predicament. You trying to figure out how he's supposed to be this big drug kingpin, and already in episode 3, he getting his ass whooped and all the money taken away. So again, like it draws you in like real fast. A lot of the early seasons, honestly, we can really like if you have, because I know we were talking about taking notes. I personally don't really have too many notes off the early seasons. Only thing I really want to talk about is season 5 and season 6, because that's when you really saw a lot of stuff going on.
That was my childhood, 5 and 6.
Yeah.
Season 1 through 4 was literally, because I think it starts off in 1983. So it goes from the year I was born till about when my first memories started to form.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember seeing some of that stuff like around what happened on season 3, season 4.
Like the way, and I will say, I'll bring this up. Like it was heartbreaking that Franklin ended up killing one of his best friends.
Yeah.
The way, what was his name? I don't even remember his name. Kevin, yeah.
It's Kevin. Oh, I'm never gonna forget Kevin. I mean, Kevin fucked everything up, bro.
He did. He did,
yeah.
He may as well been a male Wanda, because Wanda was at least on drugs. It was like, you literally just betrayed your friends.
Yeah, man. He almost got everybody killed. Sorry. He almost
And
got
it's
everybody killed. You know what I'm
and it
saying?
was like I don't even understand why he was confused, because it was like, you dealing with the cartel. Like, you don't
Yeah,
mess around with the cartel. Like, you can't just kill anybody. The cartel will kill everybody in your family without
literally.
a second thought. Like, so he was wrong off top, for that. And but he didn't care. Like, he just wanted blood. And
Yeah.
Franklin, and even the way it happened, because Kevin was shooting in broad daylight with
Yeah.
kids at a playground and stuff. So even the way it happened, I don't even fault Franklin for shooting them, because it was like, bro, like, you don't see them kids over there, like, this
You
is
could really fucking get us all killed.
right. This is crazy, and it really started getting me thinking about how back in the day versus it is now. It was rules to the game back in the day. It was
Yeah.
rules to this. Like
Uh,
all that drive-by shooting and stuff, like that wasn't
yeah, that
before.
wasn't that's not like
Yeah,
in the Hispanic community, that is not the move. They don't care who,
yeah.
but you ain't shooting nobody else up like that because you're not gonna make it in jail.
It was the entire mob is the same way. Women and children is off limits. You leave the family alone. You know what I'm saying? So for him to go do that, you know, and then for it to be a death, like, his artery, he was bleeding out, like, that was just karmic.
Yeah.
And
God.
I always say, like, when we watch shows, we watch it as a person in the world, and then we watch it as an Israelite. So
Huh.
whenever I see certain things like that happen, I'm like, yeah, that's just Most High's judgment. You
Huh.
just get shot in the leg and then you die. Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
we're like I've heard that. I've heard people get shot with get bullet riddled with an AK and survive, and then somebody got a misfire in the leg, and that's all
right.
she wrote.
Like 50 Cent, he been shot with like 7 times, and
Yeah,
he's still
nine
alive.
times.
9 times, and he's still alive. And then you got this dude who get shot in the leg once, and
And
he's just in the wrong spot. So it's just karma. And
con.
so that was one thing I wanted to bring up from the early seasons, because to me it really shaped Franklin's personality, because that was his first murder. His
Yeah,
first
well,
his first murder was his best friend. So from then on, it was really all downhill, because to him it can't get more personal. You basically killed your brother. It can't get more personal. That was literally Cain killing Abel.
con,
So
con.
from then on, it's all slippery slope. There's no redemption story,
Yeah,
as Bob
con.
Marley would say. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so
What's surprising is that Lee got redemption after smoking that little girl.
Khan, but the difference is, you saw how it ate him up.
Oh, it fucked him up. It really
Yeah.
did. It destroyed him.
From then on, like, he was not the same Leon. He was not like he was not the same Leon. I mean, he was still with it for his family, but he was more. He was almost Franklin. He was like, I need to know for sure. I need to know, like, what's the plan, like, what we doing. And that's how he approached everything.
Yeah.
And he was not careless after that, because even in that situation, it was really a straight up accident.
It really,
They
yeah, it
was
was.
they was just sitting. He was in the car, just chilling, minding his business, and they pulled up next to him in the car. They didn't even know they was there. Neither party in either car knew what was going on. They just happened to look. Oh, they didn't even know the girl was back there. So it wasn't like the Kevin situation, where Kevin can see it was kids playing around. Kevin can see all of that.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It was just, I'm trying to kill this fool. The fool just pulled up next to me. I'm just trying to shoot that fool, and the bullet just goes and hits the
Yeah,
girl.
but yeah. That was Man Boy's people or Scully's?
That was Scully's.
Scully's.
Yeah, and that's how that. Now, okay, before we all right, so Scully was. I actually like Scully.
Oh yeah, me
Scully,
too.
yeah, because no, okay, so he is grounded in Satanism.
Connie
He,
is right.
yeah,
Voodoo, right?
yeah, he's grounded in a lot of voodoo, and of course he got the drugs on top of that, because he spiked the wedding with the ecstasy or something like that. That was
It was
crazy.
acid.
That was that was a crazy episode.
I hate to
Um,
laugh at it, but
and you actually get, and from that episode, from that you got it real. So I actually didn't even know that Dems and Ildris, the dude that plays Franklin, I didn't know that he was English. I didn't know he was
Oh
from London.
yeah, bro. Oh
Because you
yeah.
listen to his accent, and now I'm listening. I was like watching a lot of like behind the scenes stuff, and like he literally went to like a lot of like he went to a OG rapper in
Yeah,
the
to Dub
game.
C.
Dub C, yeah. He went to him and actually had him be his trainer to like learn. And so it's like now I actually want to watch the series again to just listen to his accent.
I've never saw because there's an interview. I don't know if that's the interview you saw with what's the Edomite's name? Universe Jimmy. I want to say Jimmy Kimmel or the other guy. It's a comedian. He hosts this Tonight Show. I think it is Jimmy Kimmel.
Okay.
Or
I think I did see it. I think I did see it. Him
but
on
he's
Jimmy
like, yeah,
Kimmel.
he's also so you're British. He's like, yeah, like he's talking. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like,
And
he's
he
talking. He's like,
switches.
yeah, Dub C called me, and then he switched his voice up. I
Oh
was
yeah.
like,
Yeah,
bro,
I saw that.
you
Yeah,
went,
that's
yeah, that's the one. I'm like, you went from London, England to South Central LA in like a split second. I'm like, ooh, that's talent.
and it was like official.
Yeah, he sounds like he's from over there,
And
bro.
then I didn't know that John Singleton before he passed. So Damson had to interview for that role like 8 times. And even on the eighth time, John Singleton still made him play Franklin for 24 hours, like in the hood,
Ooh.
before he actually got the role. Like he actually had to walk and talk in the hood. So, John Singleton, he's a perfectionist about his,
Yeah, con,
he's going to give that authentic raw. And
con.
if you watch the Snowfall, like I will say this about the ending, skipping a little bit. It's very realistic, and I liked how each person had a very realistic ending. It wasn't like one ending that they all had collectively. Each person had a different role, which is real because each person played their own role. Like Louis Louis became the new boss, but
Mm-hmm.
she didn't have a deal, so she on the run now.
She's
You know,
yeah,
she was so pressed. She loved that money so much. That scripture I gotta read the scripture because I
con.
read the scripture before you recorded. So I gotta read the scripture. Let us back up a little bit. So the one scripture that I wanted to read for the show is 1 Timothy 6:10. For the love of money is the root of all evil, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves, pierced themselves. Like when I read that, I was like, yo, this is so, because they did it to themselves.
Every last one of them, whether
They
good or
did,
bad,
yep.
whether good or bad. Because I
Like,
mean, what?
go ahead.
No, I said like I was gonna say, for example, his mom. She's British too, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
The mom, I mean, yeah, I mean, and we have this argue. We've had this argument at work since the ending of the show. Some people find like she screwed over Franklin. Some people think she did it to help him. I'm kind of in the middle. Like she could have waited a couple seconds, but what if those couple of seconds was an order to smoke Franklin?
So I look at it like this, because I hear both arguments, right? And I don't. So let's think about the events. And again, spoiler alert if you didn't watch.
Because spoiler, if you ain't seen the last episode and you watch the show.
So Sissy, she asked Teddy about Alton, right? And Alton looks at her because before Alton made the deal, he knew he was going to die. So
Mm-hmm.
he was just saying anything to stay alive, basically. And
Mm-hmm.
so that's when he dropped in her ear, he's still alive. So
Yeah.
that's why she was like, okay, well maybe we can make some type of deal or whatever, and I can find out what he is. Da, 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 da. But then when he was on the phone, he looked
Oh,
at
he's a
her.
scumbag.
He was like, "What? He dead? I shot him sometimes." Like, what are you talking about? The way he said it, anybody like in that moment, anybody would have beat his ass or shot him because he was so disrespectful and so dismissive with the way he did it. So the way she walked off, you kind of, well, first of all, if it was me, if I was Franklin, I wouldn't have my mama in that situation to begin with. That's first of all.
Yeah, well, yes, number one. I mean, but Franklin a mama's boy, so I can see him bringing her with
Right.
him.
That's why it's plausible. And so that's why when I hear people like that's not happy with the ending, I was like, yo, you got to think about the whole show. It's all plausible. Because he, like you said, he was a mama's boy. That was always his weakness. The two weaknesses Franklin always had, his mama and women. He could never read women properly because Veronique was always about that money. He never cared about him, but he never saw it that way. He didn't see that.
From the opening scene when she came out in that helicopter, I'm like, who the
Right.
fuck is this? She's the bad guy.
Right. So anyway, all right. So I understand why she shot him because in that moment, I probably would have too off of emotion. And you know, women lead off of emotion. Because she's playing it like not only are you disrespecting me, you playing the murder, and you running my feelings like it's nothing. Um, before, so I think that especially when you add into how she was kind of telling Leon how Franklin was just lost and how Franklin was her biggest disappointment. She already knew that. She saw Franklin was gone when Franklin was torturing home with Teddy.
Mm-hmm.
She, when Franklin was going off and doing all, she saw where his mind was. He was loving that money too much. He didn't see anything else.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Like all and it was so crazy how calculating Franklin has always been. He was always calculating. He would always be just take a pause for a second. You know what I'm saying? Just let me breathe. But at the end, because he,
He lost his
that
mind,
yeah, he like, and it's so crazy because he didn't even have a drink yet. Because it ended when he like the last episode is when you saw him drink the alcohol for the first time.
That second to last when you took that
Right,
shot.
right.
Yeah.
But before then, he was already gone. Before then,
No, he was yeah.
yeah, he was done. He could only see that money, and so his mother saw that. His mother saw he was just focused on the money. And if I put myself in Franklin's shoes, I can understand how he needed the money. If you think about it from the point of view of my father died, Uncle Jerome died, all this stuff happened. I destroyed my community. I at least need some money or something. I need something to justify all of this.
Con.
I get it from that. Like from Frank, he's like, I can't because his mother was like, just walk away. He's like, I'm not going through all of this shit and then walk away.
Yeah.
I get that. I get it. Like, cause it's like, but at the same time, that's what the Most High do. The Most High will destroy you, and He will take everything away from you. And if you're not on the Most High, then you're going to end up like Franklin. You're
Yeah,
going to be
looking like a
lost.
damn smoker. Franklin looked like a smoker. He ain't smoking Rocky Soul, but he looked like a smoker, bro.
Con. So all right. We talking about Franklin's point of view. Sissy's
Yeah.
point of view, I honestly don't see how she did what she did to save Franklin because she admitted to Leon that Franklin was already lost. And even when Franklin would come visit her a couple times, like she knew he was already lost. She didn't do that for Franklin. She did that for herself. She just wanted to shoot him. Like, and I get that. I understand the revenge.
Yeah.
You dangle the carrot in front of the horse. At a certain point, the horse won't want to bite you. I so for her to, I think maybe she did what she did to manipulate Leon into leaving. Maybe she and I thought I'm literally just thinking about this. Maybe she did what she did because even Leon wouldn't give Franklin $3 million.
Yeah, con.
By her doing what she did, she taught Leon, I don't want Franklin to have this money. So you don't give money. You just leave. And Leon just left. So maybe that's what it really was. Maybe she was trying to show Leon, I just need you to leave. I can't save him, but I can save you. So maybe
Yeah,
that's what it
con.
was.
Because I mean, yeah, Leon, man, if you watch, what's crazy? I was telling everybody. I don't know if you noticed it, but the last about 10 minutes of the show is literally the beginning of the series backwards.
Yeah.
Because the second scene in the show is him working at that liquor store,
Mm-hmm.
which is the second and last scene. They're going back to that liquor store when he gives them that
Mm-hmm.
20s. Like, ooh, Andrew Jackson. And then we go back to the neighborhood where the scene pans down and it pans away from them walking away where they came together. They were separating. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I saw that. I'm like, I was still frustrated that Franklin looked like a damn smoker at the end.
I mean, it makes sense, when you think about the realism of the show, because Franklin had his deal. You know what I'm saying? He was the only one that had his deal. So, but he just didn't have the money. He didn't have anything else, but he still loved the money. So that's what he was chasing. Even when they was doing the time skips, Franklin was still holding on. He was still chasing all the money. And he went and he found a homeboy that was on the drugs. And he found him in the house.
Oh yeah, Peaches.
Peaches, yeah. When he went and found Peaches and then finally he did all of that to finally open the safe, and there was only like $20,000 in the safe. You know what I'm saying? So that's all Franklin, his whole mind was just consumed about money. And that's the reason why I thought about that scripture, because he couldn't see anything else. He couldn't see any other rest. But it also made sense. His final words of the show, when he told Leon, he was like, I'm finally free. Because now he realized I'm stripped of all of this. I don't have a house. I don't have anything, but I'm free.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any
like, I ain't got no
responsibility.
chains on me, Leon.
Yeah, he's like, I'm straight. I'm straight now. And that's what that is what gives credence to what Sissy was trying to do. That is what gives that credence, because that's what she was trying to get Franklin to see beforehand. But the problem was Sissy was trying to teach Franklin that lesson while Franklin was literally boiling hot oil and pouring it on motherfuckers to get, like, you can't teach somebody that, like, while they actually torturing people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's gone. Like, we're not speaking the same language right now.
Yeah,
He's already lost. She too late. And that's why I've actually seen certain podcasts say from that Sissy was actually a villain, because Franklin was so much of a mama's boy. She should have put her foot down earlier on,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe that would have saved him. Especially now that, like, once Alton got off the streets and he was around, and all the information, because you gotta add in. Of course, we doing this hindsight. You gotta add in that Alton's homeboy, the dude, the special investigator, was finding all the information on people.
Yeah.
When he was finding when he found the Teddy's father and his son and stuff like that.
You talking about, what's the dude's name? The dude that found Peaches, right?
Yeah, that dude. Can't think of his name.
Smoke, I think his name is.
Something like that. Something like that. When that happened, when they found him, you should have bribed your way out of. They should have told Franklin, you need to walk away. We have everything we need. You need to bribe your way out of the situation. Because Teddy literally, Franklin could have said, all right, cool, I'll give you to Louis. Louis wanted it. We know that. You know what I'm saying?
Louis did.
Or Manboy. Manboy wanted it.
Manboy called that. Manboy called it. I don't know if you remember that when Manboy died, but he called it, bro.
Yeah, he did. So, like, that's, and I can understand that. Yeah, Sissy, she waited too long, and this is the deeper conversation that I wanted to get into. I could really understand where they went wrong with the whole situation. Both Alton, Sissy, and Franklin, they all realized they were destroying the community, but they figured that they could probably build it up into something. But you can't take blood on your hands and then make something nice out of it. The scriptures literally tell you blood got to wash blood off. That you can't build a city on blood. So, and that's what they was trying to do.
Build a city with destruction.
Establish
a city with blood.
And that's what they was doing. So you can't do that. And I get, again, as a young man in the world, mesmerized by the drug game and everything. I can understand where they were coming from. You know, they was opening up clinics and stuff like that. But nah, that's not the way you do it. You can't destroy your community and try to build your community at the same time. Because look at Wanda. Wanda could literally she couldn't even be around her neighborhood. Her own grandmother disowned her. Her own grandmother wouldn't even open the door for her.
Yeah, con. Yeah, that was sad. That was sad. But I
Like,
mean, Wanda, I don't know. I mean, they didn't show too much of her. She didn't do nothing extra. Like, I mean, she didn't sell the downtown property for cheap behind Franklin's back. So I mean, I could forgive her.
yeah. Wanda, I mean, yeah. There's actually three people that got a good ending. Wanda, Leon, and then the Mexican dude, the wrestler.
Oh, also did. No, you
Yeah,
know what?
also.
I want to know what happened to what's her name? The chick from season 1 and 2.
Oh
Lucy?
yeah, the cartel chick.
Yeah, the cartel chick.
Because he found her. Remember they found her, but then it was like a question, I think, that they asked Oso. Because Oso was like, okay, cool, I'll come back in, but this is my stipulation. And so he was like, yeah, you gotta find so and so. And then they brought the file to him and he read it, and then they said something to him and it made him back off of her. So I think it was
I
that she was
remember.
it was like she was happy or something like that. I think that was the sense that they was trying to give, that she was happy, just leave her alone. And that made also realize he just needed to be happy.
Yeah.
And I will say that, shout out to Saint, because Saint kept his word. He gave the money, and also was able to just walk away. Um, and Leon was able to walk away, and
You
Wanda
would.
was able to walk away. You know,
Con. I
so
think the best scene though, now you said the second to last when they caught Teddy and he's like, "What do you want to do now, Moreno?" I'm like, "Oh, that's what I knew was gonna be bad for Teddy, bro." As soon as I saw that closing scene and they panned it on Franklin, I'm like, "It's over, bro. It's
yeah,
over. It's over for Teddy, bro. He's not getting out this bitch alive. He's gonna
yeah,
go."
it
But
was
man,
it was
that last season was. I seen an article yesterday at work when I was hiding. Oh, my job didn't see this, but they might not see this episode until after. But I seen an article where they were saying something like that, Franklin wasn't necessarily money hungry like that. How they're painting it, because if he was the case, he would have kept the money from Oso and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So I mean, there's that case, but again, he wanted his money, so he was in love with the money. It just wasn't everybody else's. He was fair about it.
nah. Franklin was lost. He was
Yeah,
lost. I mean, because even just think about, he killed Teddy's father in front of his girl and his mother-in-law.
yeah,
The way he did, like, he was cold. He was cold-blooded
he
that
did.
last season.
The way he killed Teddy's dad caught me way off
Huh.
guard because I was like,
And
"What?"
then
Oh,
and then held the phone up to the man while he was choking on his own blood. Like, that was he was done. And then on
yeah,
and then on top of that, his woman, she didn't even leave.
yeah.
She didn't even leave him. That's how I knew. That's when I knew she was only there for the money, because she chose him over his her own mother.
Yeah,
Cause her mother was like, yo, like, this man, no. She was like, no, no, this
yeah,
mine. This mine. And I was
yeah.
just, yeah, he ain't. So Franklin, let me try. I will say Franklin was lost. Honestly, to me, Franklin was lost after he killed his brother. Um
Yeah,
oh,
when he got Kevin.
yeah, when he got Kevin, I think, because that was the first murder.
Mm-hmm.
From then on, it was whenever because remember before then, when he never actually killed anybody, and he never watched it. He would
Leon
always
did.
turn it.
Leon had smoked somebody, I think, and Carvel got the dude that stole their money.
Mm-hmm.
And then Leon killed Carvel.
Crime. But after then, Franklin actually got his hands dirty, and he
Yeah.
would watch it. Um, Even the way he tried to set up Manboy and Scully, that was just cold blooded. Like, he just got shot himself. Not only that, you literally just, I would say, actually, now that I'm remembering, Frankie was really, really lost when he killed Andre, the cop, in his own house. When he just walked up on him and shot him in his head. After
Yeah.
lying to him, like that's when he was really gone. Because from then on, he was out the game because Louis and his uncle was
Jerome?
taking care of Jerome. They was taking care of the game, and they was trying to keep him away because he wasn't healed.
I remember that when cause what's her name shot him because of that. Literally the day of the funeral, he went over there and
Mm-hmm.
she tried to
She
smoke
shot
that
him.
fool.
Fine.
Yeah.
And then remember how cold he was when he went down to wherever city, because they didn't say where she was at, but he knew where she was, and he went down there just to see her, and then he left the cane on
Yeah,
the chair.
that was a hell of an ending for an I think it was the
Con,
season ending or the end of the episode, just that episode, but I remember that.
con. That's to me right around then is when Franklin Saint was not a saint no more. Because
Yeah,
at that point, because she never did nothing to him. She like that was his girl for real.
yeah, that was his boo. That was his.
Yeah, that was
That
it.
was
Like he was the one that messed that up because he killed her father. It was of course she going to shoot. Like come on now, you know what I'm saying?
and I think
So
after that's when she got strung out, huh? Or she was
yeah,
strung out leading up to that.
she was. It was her father dying that got her sober. Because remember, she was hanging with Wanda.
Yep. The roller skate incident.
Yeah, yeah, and Wanda was. I will say, I guess there are two different types of crackheads because Wanda loved being a crackhead,
Yeah,
but
she did.
Melanie did not like being a crackhead. You
Yeah,
know,
she was like, this ain't for me.
she was like, I'm going home, and then when she went home, that's when she found her dad. So that's literally what woke her up. Um, so yeah, Franklin been gone, and that was literally what, like season 2, season 3.
That was season 2 going. Yeah, season 2 going into 3.
Yeah.
Because I remember he got shot. Oh yeah, so he got shot the following, but it wasn't the he got shot the following episode was a dream sequence.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
Right. Yeah.
fucking Teddy was
Yeah.
his professor.
Mm-hmm.
His mom and dad were
I remember that.
together.
I
He was
remember that.
with Melanie. It was the dad liked them, and Leon was like a square or something like that.
Con.
It
Yeah.
was that was a hell of a dream sequence.
I couldn't stand it. And the way they ended it when he woke up out the bath water, like it was all a bad dream. And
Yeah,
his father was there and stuff like that. It was just like, okay. It was a good I guess pacer episode, you would say. Like it was something like a stopgap,
yeah.
kind of get you to think.
You know
What
what?
do you think about the episode when they went to when Leon and Wanda first went to Africa and they showed like the slave castle and all of that stuff in Ghana? What do you think about the episode? Because it was heavy.
I
Because
was
all of us in the world we still think we African. So
yeah. But when I mean, I know I understand scripture. I was like, so that's where the devil came and got him from, huh? That was I think that's even the words I uttered because I used to watch it because it dropped Wednesdays. I would get home Thursday morning. Everybody at my job, unless you work in the office and get an hour lunch, the rest of us get 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? We watched it out when we got off, and I was like, I remember saying that when nobody was home. I'm like, so that's where the devil went to get him from, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get angry at stuff like that, bro. Stuff like that angers me. Like, because I always tell people when people like Hispanics that don't understand, I'm like, all right, look, I have a different understanding. So let me put it to you like this. Imagine somebody took your brother, kidnapped him, and then told you he wasn't your brother, then turned you against him for years, and then you finally figure out that's your brother. Wouldn't that piss you off? And they're like, I'm like, all right, then. That's all I'm saying, bro. I'm like, I
Yeah.
found out these people are my brothers just like they're yours, and now I'm mad because somebody lied to me.
And
Somebody
this
fucking lied to me.
and what's so cold about it is when you break it down like that, you can also layer it like when I grew up in the DMV, there's this area called Langley Park.
Mm-hmm.
Langley Park is all Hispanic and Mexican. Um, right next to Langley Park is the hood. We all get together. The problems that are created from the white man.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally just be like, just think about it. Like we can all live together. Us, like we the same people. We don't care. Like I don't mind living next to Mexicans and Hispanics and all that stuff. Like I don't mind because I know, like, all right, they be doing a quesadillas and all that other stuff, and they're but we do our thing. It's the same thing. They whatever they call y'all cookout, we do our, it's cool.
A carne asada as opposed to a barbecue?
Yeah, it's the same thing. You come knock on the hey, hey, say, it might be a little loud tonight. Just saying. And then next week, hey, just don't call the cops tonight. You know what I'm saying?
God.
Straight like that. So we have literally lived in the world next to one another and it not be a problem. The only problems come in when Esau starts taking resources out, and now we got to fight for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And now it becomes a race issue amongst certain things because like do y'all have like lotteries for schools? Like some of the top schools, you gotta like be in a lottery to get into.
No, if you live in a shitty district, you're going to a shitty school.
I mean, we have that too, but we also have certain schools where I'm from. Like we have certain schools that are like the top schools in the area.
Yeah, most of us do. But I mean, let me how do I say it? Most people they move to a different address and then they just go home to a different address from another city. That's what most people do.
Yeah. So what Esau do, diabolical.
Yeah.
They'll fund 5 or 6 schools in the area and make those 5 or 6 schools like the best. Like they have all the best resources. They'll be brand new. They have the brand new science department, all this other stuff. So everybody wants to go to those schools, but the only way you can get into those schools is if you win a lottery to get into the school. It's not based off your address. All the other schools based off the address, like you say, like if you live in this address, you go to this school. All the other schools are like that. But then it's like these certain schools, it's not that way. Like you gotta win to get in.
No, they're called magnet schools here.
Yeah, that's what we call them.
Yeah,
that's what we call them, magnet schools.
The only thing with those is not a lottery. You gotta like all the schools have, you shitty. The school be shitty, but they'll have like magnet programs, and if you do great there, then they'll send you to a magnet school. You gotta be like extremely smart. You feel me? Or get good grades. Really, not even extremely smart, because I know some pretty smart motherfuckers that I went to continuation school with.
Yeah, it's again that's how Esau just divides. Because I've seen the same thing. Like the tag. You old enough to know about tag, talent, and gifted, and stuff like that.
Oh yeah. You can.
Yeah, they would do that. Like, okay, yeah, your son he tested into tag, but you get into tag and it's not really nothing different. Like I've me myself, I have gone from a quote unquote tag program to another regular program, and it's the same thing. So I wasn't really tagged, but then within that same school, they switched it and they changed it. And so like my first baby mother, so I have 2, my wife and then my son's baby mother. She went to a school where you have to test to get into. Like if you ain't
schools.
Yeah. And she always thought it creates these people that think they better than everybody else because you went to that school. But I would always be like, but my GPA is higher than your GPA. So what are you talking about? And even to this day, like she's dumb as a bag of rocks. But she thinks she's smart just because she went to that school.
I know people like that.
So that's that division. And it's I look at if I try to relate this to Snowfall, in my mind, I see Franklin as that dude that thought he was smart. And life happened. Esau happened. The Most High happened.
He did what he had to do.
And he realized he was just like Leon. The difference is Leon actually had a heart somewhere. And the Most High saw that. And so he was like, all right, I'm gonna bring you out of that because I see you're actually remorseful. Because I really look at Leon's character. Leon really wanted to change. Because remember that scene when Leon first came back and everybody was complaining because the projects was drying up, and Leon was like, we have to have rules first. Before I do anything, we gotta have rules. Y'all got beat. Like, do you remember that scene?
I remember seeing talking about
Yeah, and
when it was after the fight, right, with Big D.
Khan when
Yeah, I
he
remember that.
finally took over, and it was like, all right, cool, yeah, you in charge. He was like, but we ain't eating. He was like, we gotta have rules. Otherwise, you won't. How am I different than him? So I see, like, you could really see that Leon was like, how am I going to take this crack? How am I going to take crack and turn it into something positive, like grassroots, versus somebody like Franklin? He was just like real estate. I'm just going to buy a building and just put you. It's like, no, Leon was like really in it. He was like, how am I going to put, you know what I'm saying? Especially because his wife was like a crackhead. Like he was like, yeah, how am I really? And I think that's really the fundamental difference between the two characters is Leon was so affected early on because Wanda was a crackhead.
Because of Wanda.
Yeah, second season, she was on it.
Yeah.
Really, in the first season, beginning of the second season.
Towards the middle end of the first season.
Yeah, she was crackhead already. Like, and again, like I had said before, the two people, Leon and Franklin, two sides of the same coin, but they literally switch places because Franklin was correct when he told Leon that Wanda should not be in the drug game. He read it correctly. But because that was his brother, he made the wrong decision. You should have been righteous and stood on that. But you didn't. You loved that money. And you figured that if you made your brother happy, you could make more money. It's like, nah, bro, if I love you, bro. I love you. But that's not the right move. You just leave it at that. He didn't do that though. He was like, I love you. So I'm gonna let you make your own decision. And then all of that happened, and the next thing you know, she ended up on crack, and then Man Boy come into the situation. Man Boy shooting up blowing up the spot, doing all this other stuff. Like, because if you think about it, if Wanda never became a crackhead, they could have been doing the whole ice cream truck thing for a while.
Khan. I forgot about that. You're right.
Because after the whole reason why they had to switch off the ice cream truck was because of Wanda.
God, I forgot about all that. Man. Yeah, Wanda was not meant for the drug game in no shape, way, or form. She was not. You know what I mean? Neither was Mel or Kevin. Because remember, they were the ones that got high. I think, was Lee in the room when they all got high off of it? And they were hiding it from Franklin?
Kelvin was not. Lee, he did when it was cocaine.
Yeah.
Lee tried the cocaine, but Kelvin did the crack. Lee didn't do the crack.
Because they did it off the weed pipe. I remember that. I remember that.
Lee looked at Kelvin and was like, "Nah, I'm straight." And again, that was just because Leon never tried it, and what's his name? The main character, Saint,
Franklin, yeah, Saint.
Franklin, yeah, he never tried it. So they was again same side of the different coin, like they mirror one another. So that was to me when I how do you think about the ending? That's one thing. How do you think about the ending? Let's talk about Uncle Jerome.
Jerome. That was my favorite character.
I actually think he wanted to die. I actually think the man that he was, I think him personally, there was no other way for him to lead a life.
Yeah, because he was always gonna let Louis kind of direct him in that direction. Because he only went back because he only stayed because of Louis. He wasn't gonna go nowhere. I mean, it's sad, and that was the only way it was gonna end. That was that was the saddest death on the show,
especially the way it happened. Like, because they were saving her.
Yeah, like I went to work and I just looked at people like, I don't even want to talk about it. It just walked off like, not Jerome, bro.
Yeah, that was, and then it was unexpected because they literally had all little shootouts and everything, and then at the end, before it happened, they having a little standoff, and you're like, oh, so you sitting there watching like, oh, so how this about to happen? Because Jerome's in there, and he over there, and then they just nah, I'm not going out that way. He just start busting. I'm just like, damn. And then you think because first they showed the other dude get shot.
Yeah, Kane.
Yeah, they showed Kane get shot, and then they did this whole scene thing, and then they did like a little rewind segment a little bit, and then that's when you saw the two bullets hit Jerome's chest. He was like, oh, yeah, that was a hard one, but he was an OG at the same time. He was an OG, so I honestly feel like he went out the way he wanted to go out because when you think about everything Jerome stood for, he didn't compromise himself at all.
Yeah, Khan. It was just the way he went out. That was a
Yeah,
sad one. That was a sad one.
Khan,
That was a different. I was like, they killed my. I was bent back to work like they killed my own uncle, and then what made it worse because I'm real into anime. That was the week that I thought they killed my favorite character on one of my favorite animes. I was like, no. I was having a tough week, man. I was having a tough week. I'm like, Uncle Jerome and Baruto, this can't be life. This can't be life.
especially when you think about how Jerome didn't even want to be. He was the first one to say nah. Like he did not. He did not. He was like, yeah, just stick to this weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he did not want to do it.
Khan. He did not. I remember that he's like, because remember, he's like, I had a partner deal with that shit a couple times. He's like, got his head blown off by some Mexicans. I remember I'm like, damn, so they were okay. What? All right, we'll see. And then they were his homie that they were in a job, right? Where his homie that got shot by the Mexicans. And he was trying to tell him to stay out of it. I forgot, it was something like that. But it was Jerome and Franklin, in like a how you say this in English? A fabric store sort of deal.
Yep, yeah, and they even showed him a couple times afterwards when Franklin was trying to get him put on. They showed him in the fabric store
Yeah,
with the
Khan.
Asians. With the Asians.
Khan.
Um. So yeah, Jerome. I don't know. Like I'm not really upset about Jerome because I feel like that was a proper way for Jerome's character to end because for everything he stood for, especially when you think about um the episode before when he went off and he got drunk by himself and he was with his homeboy and everything. Jerome knew what was going on. It was almost like Jerome saw the end.
Yeah, Khan, I figured that. It's like he felt his own demise because when the
Yeah,
dude's like, who is that? He's like, I don't know. The car done passed 3 times. He's like, oh,
he just pulled a gun out. He was like, "Yo, what's up?" Like
yeah,
Jerome knew what was going on.
yeah.
Louis got everything she deserved. Um,
Man,
she got everything she deserved.
everything.
Because for I mean, especially like you older, so you're supposed to be looking out for the younger generation. You're supposed to be wiser. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be like Sissy, for example. You're supposed to be able to realize that Franklin is not where he's supposed to be. But she didn't think about any of that. She was just thinking about herself. She just wanted to be in charge. She wanted to be a man. So it was very poetic that Franklin walked away and let her be the man. And even when he walked away, he was like, all right, yeah, we'll be in front. Be in front. He just walked away. She got all of that, because the DA was literally like, okay, yeah, we're not worried about Franklin no more because you the man.
That's why that it's funny. All these mob shows that I watch, stuff like that, traumatized me into never want to be the leader of anything. I'm like, nope, because
Yeah.
that's the first one we're gonna hit right there.
She didn't think she didn't think about that. And then it was so funny when when she was on the run and stuff, she was like, yeah, Franklin didn't tell me X, Y. He was like, well, of course, because you stole the plug. If you know anything in any other situation, if you go behind somebody's back, you're supposed to get murked.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
don't.
compassion on her. Yeah, compassion on her. I mean, she's she's not she's one of the best characters in the show, but one of the worst people on worst people in the show. Best character, worst person.
It
She's
is
like the
crazy
biggest
because
dirtbag.
since I've been watching like the app behind the scenes stuff after the show ended, the real life person, she actually had to go to therapy because she's not like that in real life. The actual person, think his name is like Angela Lewis or something like that.
Yeah,
She's not like
Angela.
that. She's not like that in real life. Like she could not. She doesn't like violence. Remember in season 1 when she beat up that woman that came to the yeah, she's not like that. She had issues with that.
Ah.
Um, so she actually had some personal growth because her character didn't have to do anything to that level later on in the show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, so and I respect that. Like if you, because Nasiah always says, he makes fun of Hollywood, like you playing pretend.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he always like, all right, why are we so upset if X, Y, and Z doesn't win an award at playing pretend? Because that's what this really is.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, you got to look at somebody that spends so much time into a character to be something that they're not, and then when they come out of it, they have a problem
Mm-hmm.
because identity crisis type thing going on. So I've respected the fact that she actually, went to therapy to work on that.
Yeah.
Um, but at the same time, if you in the game and you go around the boss's back to try to get at the club, we've seen plenty. Like when we talk about Scarface, whether we talking about Goodfellas, like any
Bro.
drug, like no matter what you talking about, you trying to get to the plug, you're supposed to be dead. You're supposed to be example. Like nah, nah, and he didn't do that. Franklin literally walked away. The next day, the very next scene, he was in a bed with Veronique. Says, "Yeah, I'm done." He was straight. The only reason he went back in was because of Teddy.
Petty punk ass stole his money.
Yeah, Franklin was straight. He was like, "Oh, cool. Yeah, she wanted." So that's why when she was like, "Yeah, Franklin didn't say such and such," I was like, "No, you wanted to be the man.
That's what it takes to be the man. Yeah,
You
she had a fitting ending. She had a fitting ending hiding out
yeah,
in that ranch.
like and that's why when you see Franklin go off on everybody, you can see why. And well, of course, from the audience point of view, they don't understand the pressure that Franklin is under because Franklin knows he's only valuable as long as Teddy says he's valuable. At any point, Franklin could be in jail. At any point. So if you taking it on just because you friends with the white boy, and I'm now just thinking about this, all of a sudden it just dawned on me.
Never
It's
trust that enemy.
Eve loves the white man.
Yo, yo. Well, man, everybody sleep in my house.
Love the white man.
Con,
It's
con,
it's never been the black man that did us in. It's always been Eve loving the white man.
con. Even in the Hispanic culture, I don't know if you know who Malinche is or ever
Mm-hmm.
heard who that is, but yeah, she's the one that sold us out to the Spaniards. She sold us to the Spanish speaking Edomites.
Yep. That's
Man,
that's literally he
God, that was
walked.
damn. That was I didn't even think, man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. She personified that to the fullest. Somebody said it. I want to say it was a brother in the truth, and it wasn't in that snowfall group. But somebody said they had the picture of Auntie Louie and Teddy talking and said literal the snake and Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Huh.
like, damn. It didn't even register till you said that right now.
Yep.
That's wild.
Because even the last time Louis and Franklin was face to face before Louis got assaulted and stuff, um, when she was like, "Okay, that happened to you, it ain't gonna happen to me." It's like, but why not? Like he literally just did all this crazy stuff to rob into my bank account and steal $73 million. He literally just did that to me. Why would he not do it to you? And she was just like, I'll watch out for it. It's like, but you want to be the man that bad.
Yeah.
You're looking at your nephew and you seeing what he just did to your nephew. You can find another connect. If you want to be literally to me, if you want to be the man, tell Franklin you ain't him no more. Just go get another connect. You see what he just did to him. Go get another connect. Obviously, your connect ain't trustworthy. You know what he about to do.
You could see into the future, like, nah, I'm good. That
Like
might
it's
not
all
happen.
that was all on you, bro. Like it's all on you. I have no sympathy. Like it's all on you. Cause it's
She's the
like,
most hated character in the show. To every group I've been at discussing Snowfall, they're like, yeah, fuck her.
cause it's like, I mean, it's like, okay, Teddy just dogged out Franklin. He's just dogged him out.
Mhm.
You think somehow you're gonna be able to see when he about to dog you out? That's stupid. Take him out. Take him out. Get rid of him somehow. Just get rid of him. Take him off the table. You want to still be the man? Cool. I'm not saying you can't be the man. That's not what I'm saying. You know he's a wild card. In this life, you can't have wild cards. That's really stupid.
Con.
You're making a real stupid decision, and that's why you living the rest of your life on the run. Because Franklin was at least smart enough to still make another deal.
Con, he did, because he was like, yeah, I'm not going to jail. They gave him the KGB guy.
Yeah,
That's a fucked up way to end for the KGB guy.
yeah, it is. But then again, that's why you into that lifestyle. You
Yeah,
aspire.
that's what you get.
That's that's part of the lifestyle. That's it. So I'm
Man.
just like, all right. So we talk about Jerome, talk about Louis. Louis, like,
Yeah, Louis is. I mean, I don't I don't hate Angela Lewis. Louis though,
yeah,
because she's a fictional character. I can't stand her.
she got everything she deserved.
Man,
Everything she deserved.
it was that pimp that got me. The one that had her in there in
Oh
the
yeah, like
oh,
that was
that fucked
nasty.
me up. That fucked me up. But it was man,
I am happy that Franklin had
Saver.
the upbringing that he had to come in and save her. Yeah, because I mean,
Anybody else would have left her after
yeah,
everything she did.
yeah,
She
yeah.
said,
I mean, again, like you bit the hand that feeds you. Like you went behind my back and stole the plug. Like I want someone, anybody that watched this, I want you to go through history. I want you to go through real life. Comment in real life about a situation where you can steal the plug and think everything will be okay for you. Because we all know you do something like that, you dead. The dude that's on top, the only reason he's on top is because he has the plug. So he's going to defend the plug. There is no way that you can go behind his back and think he's not going to defend himself. Because everybody underneath him, you know what I'm saying, bro? Like it's
yeah, I don't. I want somebody to comment if they know anybody that wants somebody behind somebody's back in
yeah.
that game and survived.
He walked away. Franklin walked away. Literally, he walked away. He didn't try to kill her at all. He was like, all right, Auntie, cool. You want to be the man? That's literally his words. Literally was something like, "You want to be in front? You be in front." That's literally what he said. Because in his mind, he understood what being in that position meant. When shit hit the fan, they're coming for you.
Yeah, they're not coming for the whole squad. They're coming for you. Let that be a lesson because I got people that watch that ain't in the truth. Let that be a lesson to you. That those are ripped out of like that's real life situation. The way everybody ended so has some sort of truth to it. Because there are people that get out.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, are the ones that didn't want to be in there in the first place. But more often than not, you end up like Jerome, Louis, or Franklin. You know what
And
I'm
that's the
saying?
reason why it made so much sense for Franklin to end up drunk on the streets. Because from a DA's perspective, they don't need nothing from him. They looking for Louis.
Yeah. Because
They
what they
don't
get
need.
out of an old drug dealer.
Yeah, he ain't got nothing. You
And
know.
even he said, oh, I called the building and told him to stop fucking with me. They're like, oh yeah, we're not messing with you, bro. You don't lost your marbles.
Yeah, he's
You don't
straight.
lost your marbles.
Just
You're done. You're
leave it over
done.
there.
Yeah,
Just
they
don't
could have listed him
talk.
keep the house though.
Nah, nah. Esau has no mercy. Esau has no mercy.
None.
They're gonna kick you while you down. They're gonna do all of that while you down.
Gone. At least, well, at least try to help him a little bit there at the end.
Nah, that's not Esau. That's not
No,
Esau.
I'm saying at least Lee try to help him though. You know what I mean?
Oh, Lee. Oh, Lee.
Yeah, no, Lee,
Oh, yeah.
no, Lee try to help. At least Lee try to help
Yeah,
him
yeah,
out,
yeah,
like try
yeah.
to like help him keep the house. But I feel after watching it and listen, I feel where he was coming from. Like, yeah, bro, I guess you're free.
Mhm.
I mean, I guess you're free. You ain't got to worry about look over your shoulder. You ain't got to find a new nothing. You're good. I guess.
Yeah, you should.
I guess then $20. But
Yes.
yeah, man. Let me see how long because I got.